And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's Lakers pregame, everyone. Lakers and Rockets tonight, 6:30 p.m. Join us. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. We'll have Magic Man Sean Grice, Laker Nick, Joe Soro, maybe even Stone Hansen. The whole crew will stop by. Explicit and uncut right there for you each and every game on Playback. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, go ahead and check out what we're talking about at the Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. I hope to go ahead and record here tonight during the interim before the game. Hopefully, I'll be able to go ahead and get in a quick hour with Josh Peterson as we go over the weekend box office, the prequel to the Hunger Games. How well did it do this weekend at the box office? How bad did the Marvels do at the box office? Plus, yay! It's Black Friday time, everyone. So we go ahead and shout out our best deals in consumer technology and geek stuff coming up later this week. So looking forward to that. It's one of our favorite episodes of the year. So go ahead and check it out. Pop Culture Cosmos. Also, as well, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, of course, the great folks at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check out Joe Sorrell today. He is Ox1947. You can go ahead and share some love to him over there, LakersBall.com. And if you want to share so much more love, if you live in the Southern California area, have him redesign your new lawn today. Of course, you can check it out, what he's done before, the great work he's done on Instagram and Simblades with the Y.com. Cool Bro is happy because his Rams won and beat the Seahawks on the last second field goal. Yep, absolutely, they did. Doobie Nuggets are getting crushed without Murray. Starting to look a little rough around the edges there, but we'll see what happens. But again, we're 7-6, so I don't want to cast stones. There you go. Darren says, I'm reading everyone for, she's trading, I think, everyone for Levine. Maybe we can win the dunk contest. All right. Levine, it all depends on his iffy knees, just like Gabe Vincent. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit as well. But also as well, of course, go ahead and check out the guys, Lakerholics. That's the number one Laker blogger that's out there. That's Laker Tom. And of course, Jamie Sweet, Mr. Five Things himself. Catch what they're arguing about today at Lakerholics.com. They had a great time blabbering all over the Saturday show, the Lakerholic Spotlight. The Magic Man, he had to blabber all over them just to get the fact that, it's the word in edgewise. So go ahead and check out not only the Saturday show and their thoughts on Austin Reeves and more, plus also as well Lakerholics.com. Our good friends, Empire Jeff TV, Lakers in 5, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, or as he would say, yo. And also as well, go ahead and check out them and the John McCalian channel. Go ahead and check them out today, wherever you get your YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, please subscribe today. Hit that little Joe, the beady eyes in the right-hand corner of your screen. Click on it. It's okay. You could gouge his eye out. That's okay. It's legal in pro wrestling. Actually, it isn't, but, the referee lets it slide. Go ahead and click it today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Good going, Cool Bro. Keep that reading up. All right, that's always good, man. Appreciate you doing it. Appreciate you checking all that stuff out. Appreciate you stopping by here at the Lakers Fast Break. It is Lakers pregame, and the Lakers and the Rockets are meeting up tonight at 6:30 p.m. Like I mentioned before, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And here today to go ahead and discuss that, two awesome guys indeed. First up, Magic Man, the Madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to go ahead and stop on by. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, we have a great guest for us as well, don't we?
Yes, we do. Welcome back, Frank, from the Houston Chop Shop. Frank, thank you for dropping by again.
No problem. Can you guys hear me pretty good?
Yes,
Absolutely
sir.
great.
Okay,
Don't mind
great.
me. Don't mind me, Frank, for the next couple minutes. I'm just answering another ridiculous email that one of our regulars, Rodell, sends us. So him dreaming about Westbrook being back on the Lakers again, and I got cold shivers. So it's like running down my spine. So it's like, bad memories and bad dreams coming back to you. So I got to go ahead and answer that. But Magic Man, Frank, I'm right here with you if you have anything. But good game. Looks, the Rockets are really improved. And, the Clippers didn't, getting their first win. It was no easy task for them. So, yeah, I mean, Magic Man will tell you he's been keeping his eye, and he's got his eye on Sengun right there for you.
Oh yeah, seems like the national media does as well. They're starting to pick up what I think a lot of the diehard Rocket fans have known for a couple of years now about how good Alperen Şengün is, and I think for the Lakers, he's had a couple good games against the Lakers over the past few seasons. So I think his matchup is Anthony is playing today, right? AD is playing today.
I have
Yeah.
not seen any update yet, so I'm assuming yes as of now. I know
Okay,
with
that
LeBron, since he got that contusion at the hands of Kevin Durant last week, it's like, okay, I got to warm up just before the
mhm.
game time decision. Then, yeah, so I think we'll get that again. But yeah, for now, both guys are in.
That's going to be interesting. I'm not sure. I think they might have matched up once in the past before, in that, and might have been their Jalen's rookie year, if I remember correctly, because I remember that step back he hit on AD. But aside from that, when AD's not there, Şengün really feast on whoever the Lakers have had at the big man position. So this is going to be a really interesting and different matchup to see, because his new form and AD, I haven't seen that yet, and I think that's going to be intriguing for this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, it's been great having everybody stopping by to give their thoughts on previous teams, but we wanted to make sure the Rockets were included among them because you guys are going in so much of a better direction, a much more positive direction than I think anybody had thought. Magic Man, did you want to lay in any thoughts on the Rockets? Because I know you had a ton on Sengun and everybody else. Just the rise and the Rockets, to see that youth developing so quickly, I think it's really good to see, Magic Man.
Yeah, absolutely, Gerald. And quite frankly, the refs kind of blew it the last game. Paul George was not called for a travel. It seems, every superstar gets a travel call now, except for Paul George and Luka Doncic. Just need to put that out there. Aside from that, yeah, James Harden clearly fouled Alperen Şengün. Like, it was obvious to everybody, and the refs missed the call. They admitted in the facetious last 2-minute report, Gerald, that the officials decide to release now. As an aside, Frank, Houston's been playing great. Aside from the fresh eyes of Udoka, what would you attribute the three biggest reasons why this turnaround has happened so suddenly?
I think it's almost impossible to not include Ime Udoka in that equation, because he, to me, is the biggest singular factor in the turnaround, and that speaks negatively on the previous regime we've had with Stephen Silas. Just the unstructured, undisciplined AAU pickup game style of play that we saw over the past 3 years, to coming into this year where guys are being held accountable. Our young guys are being punished if they don't play well. He will bench you. He will cuss you out on the sidelines. And I think from all the stuff we've heard from the young guys, this is, huge key. Another big part, you bring in guys, champions like Fred VanVleet, like Uncle Jeff Green. You bring in Dylan Brooks, a guy who's been in wars with Lakers, with LeBron, with different players, has seen the different levels in the NBA. In combination with Ime Udoka, I think that has been really the biggest thing. And right now, what our young guys are trying to do is learn how to be winning players in the NBA. If you watch that game against the Clippers, Jalen Green had a couple blunders late as well. And he hasn't had many chances to be in those high leverage situations. So these are basically like what their rookie year is going to be, what it was supposed to be: accountability, structure, discipline, and they're just figuring it out right now. And yeah, I think it's been great for our fan base to see just some real basketball, for a change.
Once again, it is Frank for the Chop Shop. Please go ahead and check out his great work today on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It is pregame, Lakers and the Rockets tonight. And Frank, I wanted to ask you this. When it comes to the development of just so many of the young players that you see on this team so far, you've had some steady play from Dylan Brooks, which I think has surprised absolutely everyone on the planet after signing the big contract there. But Fred VanVleet, no surprise there. He was the big reason why, if there's any kind of growth potential that in the young guys that you have, it starts with him being able to show them a really mature voice in that locker room.
Yeah, for sure. Fred is the coach's extension on the court. I mean, as soon as he was signed, he was working out with Jalen Green. He's touched base with a lot of our young guys during the offseason. And like we do stuff that I haven't seen this team do since James Harden was here. Like there was a time in a close game going down the late stretch, Fred called a huddle during the game. And that seems trivial, but for basketball, having a leader that can get the guys settled, because our young guys get a little razzled sometimes. To me, it just speaks volumes to the change in culture that they've had. And aside from Udoka, I think he's also like, if they had a tier of importance, he's right there. Fred, he's not he's not going to drop 30 and 10 or anything flashy like that, but he plays hard defense. He's a smart player. And you juxtapose what he brings to our team compared to Kevin Porter Jr., who was our previous point guard. And it's like night and day. It's night and day. And to me, it's no surprise Alperen Sengun has been the biggest benefactor from having a true point guard, so they can run that two-man game that we all knew that was there. We just didn't have the guys that could facilitate it.
Magic Man, any thoughts, my friend?
Yeah. I have to agree with Frank. It looks like Raphael Stone and Ime Udoka found like the right vets to put around their core four. Jayshawn Tate has been, still. I still don't know what to make of him, Frank. At this point in time, a lot of talent. Like
Neither do I.
Yeah, there's still a lot of raw talent there, I think, but for some reason, he's just not stepping into a role, so to speak. What does he have to do to kind of circle the wagons here and be a part of that? Because I think Udoka would like to play him more. It's just, what are you good at right now? Like we need to find that out.
That's the magic question, a Magic Man. But I think I love Tate. Tate is, if you watched him, he is intense. He plays the right way. At times, his issue is that he plays sometimes over what that role player is supposed to be. He does more than he's supposed to do. He gets a bit tunnel vision. There was a podcast I was watching where it was Evan Turner and Andre Iguodala interviewing PJ Tucker. And what is it? Point Forward, I think it's what it's called. And they were PJ Tucker. They were asking him about how he made his lane in the league as a role player, and his response was that when young guys ask him, "How do you do what I do?" he says, "Go watch Game 6 of the 2021 Finals, a game where he played 41 minutes and took one shot." And he said, if you can do that, then you can make a way, because that's what Tate is having an issue with, is being that niche player that you can do all the stuff we love about you, the defensive intensity, the scrappiness, getting the rebounds, all of those things, without, trying to isolate, when you're not an isolation player, or taking a 1-on-4 fast break and turning the ball over, causing fouls that are unnecessary, getting technicals. That drives me crazy. A role player should never get techs. Like, you're not that good, bro. Just play. Don't get a technical. You're a role player. That really drives me nuts. But I think if he can filter out some of the bad stuff, I really like him. I think on a contender, he brings a lot to the table. And it's hard to assess those type of players on tanking teams, because he just looks like a tryhard. When you see what he does for our team, when Dylan goes to the bench, he really does keep that going. So I think over time he'll learn his role. And I think he'll be valuable for the Rockets if they don't trade him at the deadline, because salary-wise, he's one of our flexible pieces, and I think some teams would really love to have him on their roster.
Once again, it is Frank from the Chop Shop. Please go ahead and check out his awesome work today, wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to him on YouTube. Please help him out, support him today. Check out all the great work. Even if you're a Lakers fan, you stop on by. You check out what the Rockets are up to. So you get the intel, you get the scoop, you get the latest information. He provides it there for you on the Rockets each and every time out. So check it out today. Great work indeed. I've checked it out actually before in our weeks leading up to our interview. And then absolutely after that, I've caught on for some great episodes to continue the great work indeed. But I want to ask you this. Who of the Rockets do you think needs to continually step up in order for this team to continue to surprise because as of right now, you could say that they are this year's Sacramento Kings or
Yeah.
that this year's surprise team. Them, Indiana.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure on Minnesota because some of us had Minnesota higher than others. I did. So I didn't know they were going to be at the top of the Western Conference, mind you, but I thought they were still going to be a very good team. So I think the Houston Rockets are the surprise team right now as far as where they stand. So what we've seen this before last year. We saw it with Utah, where they
Yeah.
came out like gangbusters. Markkinen was like everybody's all pro, all star, and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, halfway through the season, it started to fade, and they started to fade, and they started to fade. What can you guys take from noting that to understand, hey, maybe we don't want to end up like that. Maybe we want to go ahead and work on some things. Who do you think is the key to go ahead to prevent such a letdown in the second half of the season?
It has to be Jalen Green. I think he's probably is as much as I've liked how he's played. He's slightly underperformed for where we wanted him to be as a third-year player of the caliber of player that we expect him to be. And I'm going to give him a lot of grace in that because the circumstances he came into the league under, I'm shocked that he's still a valuable player because a lot of guys don't make it through what those 2 years, right? A lot of guys come out on the other side out of the league or something, but he is very persistent. He's a guy that wants to win. I think the moment he arrives as an NBA player might not be this season. I think that's the barrier between the Rockets being a scrappy, feisty team that's going to play you hard on a night-to-night basis to being an actual playoff contender. And because Alperen Sengun, to me, has been our best player out of that class of players over Jalen Green, which is fine. But I still think he needs to be able to live up to be the number 2 pick. Fred and Dylan give you a certain baseline that you're going to have on a night in, night out basis. I think Ime Udoka is one of the best 5 coaches in the NBA. And I think that keeps you without falling off the wagon, so to say. And to Utah's defense, I think they tanked because they started trading off a lot of their players around January. I know I went into a couple of their spaces on Twitter. It was a big civil war versus keep pushing for, whatever they were going to end up the 6th seed or try to get a pick. And I think get a pick where because they sent off Conley, et cetera, et cetera. So in the NBA, you have to try to be a bad team. Like it's not just by having structure and competence, you're going to win 35 to 40 games. The teams that win 20 games are actively trying to do that because there's so many variables on a night-to-night basis. AD is hurt. LeBron has a calf. So now you have D'Angelo Russell taking 30 shots in a game. That might be a loss for the Lakers. And stuff like that happens on a team-by-team. It's so many things that on a night-to-night, back-to-back schedules, I think the Rockets will be fine. They're not going to be this, I think we're the 4th seed. I don't foresee that being the case. I think we're still a fringe playoff play-in level team that once these guys get this experience, I think next year is the year that you'll see the real Houston Rockets arrive because I expect Jalen to take that leap at that point.
Magic Matt?
Let me ask you a question, Frank. The Thompson twins. Amen's got an injury right now. He's watching his brother suffer in Detroit badly.
Yes.
Kind of makes me feel, a lot like what Trayvon Diggs sent Stephon. I'm almost expecting that from Amen to say, "Keep your chin up, bro," because it's rough out here. I wanted to ask you, do you expect him when he comes back and Eason now to be on any kind of minute restrictions, or are they good to go?
Eason has been on minutes restriction, I think, but since Eason has come back, our bench has outscored the opposing bench in every game. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the biggest glaring weaknesses for the Rockets, our bench depth. When Tari went out and Amen Thompson, who's was playing the backup to Fred VanVleet as the point guard, and Amen, just like his brother, one of the best perimeter defenders on our team as a rookie. He is really both brothers are very gifted defenders. Offensively, they have different games. On the defensive side, I would say Osor is a bit more polished, but Amen is no slouch in that department. I think that's what we've missed from him. And obviously, if anybody watches basketball, Tari Eason is a lot of people's favorite play. Like he is really just a whirlwind. Like he's a rebound.
He is his era's Lou Williams. He's like your
Yeah.
favorite player's player. Yes.
Yep. If you're a basketball head, you know about Tari Eason. Like he is just everywhere, rebounding, the weak side defense, the on-ball defense. He does everything. He's a winning player. So having him back is legit. I think his minutes are going to go up. Interestingly enough, I had said on my last video that I made after the Clippers game that I wouldn't mind if they started him over Jabari Smith. I think he's earned it, but obviously the NBA is politics. And we know Jabari being a third pick, you take that genie out the bottle and bench him for a 17th pick. It's hard to go back if he starts playing well. So, you know, it's all politics. But Tari is out of, to me, he's much better than Jabari right now, and he's one of our better wing defenders. So, getting both of those guys can be huge for the Rockets.
Tell you what, though, it's really, really great to see that the Rockets are in a much better position after several years of, you felt it each and every year how their future just seemed to be stymied one way or the other. Poor decisions here, poor decisions there. I know the Lakers for several years in the last decade went through quite the same thing as far as mismanagement is concerned. But it looks like the Rockets are on the right track. Like you said, Udoka, controversy aside, he has really put the team in a much better place mentally, and it's his ship, and it's not anything different. And it looks like the whole organization is now behind him, giving him the keys to the car, and he's taken off with it.
That's what you want out of a team that's devoid of a LeBron James or Anthony Davis. You need a personality to fill the void, and if it's you got a bunch of young guys, better it be the coach as the front person that is kind of the person that is the face of everything going on. And I think right now we don't have a player that you could say, oh yeah, that's the guy for the Rockets. Right now it's a collective, and Ime Udoka is at the head of that. And he garners respect, you know, from every single player, from the front office. He's very influential in decision making, especially as you guys seen, there was an article that came out that he's the reason James Harden is not in Houston. That was the Rockets' plan all along to bring James back. And when Ime was hired, he said James doesn't fit with what he wants to do with the Rockets, and they respected that decision and brought in Fred. And I think that's the perfect long-term goal. Now, Rockets fans get all, oh, James is better. Yeah, we know James is better than Fred VanVleet, but that's not the point. This is more about Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, Amen Thompson, and Cam Whitmore than Fred VanVleet and James Harden. And I think Fred is that guard that threads the needle between somebody that contributes on the court, but also allows room for your young guys to kind of claw up the chain and get their shine as well as they learn how to be NBA players. So, but Udoka has been, like I always say this, best thing the Rockets did in this rebuild, not draft any of those players, but get that coach because he can impact every single person on that team.
Tell you what, though, it's going to be a great matchup tonight. It is the Lakers and the Rockets coming up at 6:30, a little bit more than an hour away. You could join us, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, the post game is right here for you after the game. Magic Man, any more thoughts? I mean, this is a developing team. I do want to have one. Cam Whitmore, because I know Joe Soro is going to ask me about that.
Cam.
He has been, I feel like
tied
getting
to the Lakers forever.
yes. Joe and I were adamant, especially after seeing him in the summer, that we thought the kid really had a future, more of a future than the guy we drafted. He has not had any sniff of playing time since the season started. Like JHS, we're going to get a milk cart now and put his picture on it. Have you seen this individual? Although with him, it's been injury. With Cam, he's just not getting a chance because a lot of it's based off of the fact that there's a lot of wings on your team and he plays the wings. So it's really hard to get that opportunity. But tell us, how well has he been progressing in the G League? Does he look like at some point in time he can make a contribution this season?
I think for Cam, there's really no rush. He is very raw as a player, and Coach Udoka demands a lot from his players, especially defensively. And the Rockets are, I think, the fourth or fifth rated defense right now in the NBA. Their defense is real. You know, when you have Dylan and Fred flanking any player, I mean, your team is going to be good. And Cam, as a young guy, is just, I don't think he's there yet where he can be on the court and they last long enough without making a lot of mistakes on both ends of the court. He's still a bit tunnel vision. All the talent is there for him. Is just experience, and they don't feel a need to rush him. Let him develop. He's been showing out well on the Vipers and the Rockets G League over there. He had a great game a couple games ago. They brought him on this road trip for depth purposes, but I think if you get to see real minutes from Cam, it'll probably be sometime next year, in the next calendar year, maybe towards the second half of the season, when they usually start letting these young guys start phasing in a little bit. But I think everything is still there for him. It's just the on-court IQ isn't up to par where you would see him get minutes over some veterans or any other players that play his position right now. But I think he's still going to be an important player for us, and some Rockets fans see him as Jalen Green insurance. So, yeah, he's definitely going to be a key part of our future going forward. I did want to ask you guys, the last game, the Rockets, kind of put a little thrashing on the Lakers there.
Oh, they swept the floor with the Lakers.
Yeah.
You could say
Yeah.
it. They deserve it.
No, we'll keep it real. They I think the Lakers, I don't know what they expected coming in. I think they were shocked, but here's what I think. You can do that one time to a team. When they come back around, they actually want to play you. And I think the Lakers are going to be looking to this game as a redemption from that last game. So I'm a bit worried about, I don't know what people think about this game. I think that LeBron is probably going to play, and I think LeBron is going to have something to prove. And if we lose, which we might, and to me, I feel like there's a good chance we do, it's going to be on the back of LeBron James, because I don't think he likes losing in that manner. He looks so frustrated in that last game.
It was bad.
He was as frustrated as he's been all year, Frank. And before we let you go, we know you're a big LeBron fan. So outside of LeBron, man, we talk about what's ailing the Lakers. What do you see on tape that it's not good to us? So we've been trying to incessantly explain it to everybody exactly what's going on. What do you see that's wrong with the Lakers right now, Frank?
I think you guys, the team still doesn't fit. I don't think, probably since even the bubble team, they've put together, Pelinka's put together a team that fits what his best players do. The lack of shooting, the spacing is terrible. I love D'Lo's effort on defense this year, but I still don't like his total game next to LeBron. He's a bit redundant, not the type of guard that you want to put next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like, he's just Russell Westbrook light to me. And so I think as a roster construction issue, it's always been. Given their pick situation, the cap flexibility issues, I get it. It's hard to put together a good team, but the formula is there. It's been there. You get him some shooters. You get him some guys that are more off-ball players, and just surround him and let him just pick the defense apart. And that's what has worked since he came into the league. I don't know why the Lakers are complicating that with the guys that they bring in. It's just too many guys are doing too much at the same time. And I think that's an issue, because you're taking the ball out of the hands of one of the best players in NBA history. So roster construction. So I'm curious to see if they make any moves going down the stretch. I see Dubby says he disagree with D'Lo. I mean, I like D'Lo. I love his game. To me, it doesn't fit next to LeBron. A guard that likes to run the pick and roll, and D'Lo is beautiful in the pick and roll. But if he's running the pick and roll, what is LeBron doing? That's my problem. That's my issue. That's
I can't say I disagree with you on that. It's not been a perfect fit, especially because his defensive liabilities, when he's not shooting well, they've had some issues. But when things are even going halfway well decent as far as the shooting, his passing ability has been much improved this season from what I've seen previously. So I will give D'Lo credit on that. But like you said, he's not a perfect fit, because he does play a different type of game than what LeBron thrives on. And I can understand that. It's just his defense. If it's only his defense for both, that's why Reeves and him, they can no longer be in the starting lineup, because their defense on the perimeter absolutely sucked. Just to give it to say it out there. I mean, they're both being targeted, and it just seemed like it was just really something that the Lakers had to go ahead and address. So they did. They benched Reeves, or have him coming off the bench, makes things better. But I can understand on D'Lo or Reeves are not exactly a perfect fit with what they do and cannot do in alignment with LeBron.
Yeah, and I love Austin Reeves too. One of my favorite players in his class. I understand why they would bench him over D'Lo. Obviously, seniority, money, etc. Um, it's just a perfect guard I would say would be next to LeBron is a guy like Fred VanVleet. And to me, those are the type of players that you want next to him. Just the almost passive off ball that can hit shots, can get the team set, and allow him to use his magic. It's not really more about D'Lo. It's just more about the redundancy of high usage ball handlers next to another high usage ball handler next to another a big man that needs the ball in his hands. And when one of them is doing whatever they're good at, it invalidates the other person. And to me, you want to focus on maybe one or two of those guys that are high usage and maximize their prowess and whatever they do well by surrounding them with players that they can leverage their what I call basketball superpowers with. It's the same thing with the Clippers, with Paul George, with all these guys. That's why Russ had to go to the bench. It's just even if you have a lot of good players, if they don't fit, and the NBA should have taught us this by now, it doesn't work. Team chemistry and functionality to me is a premium for winning franchises. And I'm telling y'all, the Lakers haven't put together the best team they could around their best players, and I think that's what's been ailing them over the past 2 seasons.
Tell you what, it's been great having you on the show, Magic Man, my friend. Any thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
You know what, Frank? Before you think that this might go the other way, we are the worst defensive rebounding team in the NBA. So
Okay.
I know, Ime Udoka has just crashed the boards, and unfortunately, it's been a really ugly quicksand kind of issue with that. Usually it leads to transition points, and Gerald can point to the fact that it seems
Yeah.
like every time there's an offensive rebound given up, there's an 3-pointer on the way. And so I expect Houston to come in hungry, man. And I'm with you. I think LeBron understands that you got to put your foot on the tail of the dragon. I'm worried that AD doesn't understand that he's got to swing the sword, brother. So hopefully, I'm not so sure. We'll see tonight, but I hope it's
Yes,
a good
sir.
game. And we've been watching the Rockets from afar. We're very impressed with Udoka and their turnaround, and hope to have you on the show again, Frank.
I appreciate you guys for inviting me. Looking forward to a great game.
Looking forward to it as well. Although, the Lakers within successive seasons have taken your Rockets very lightly and have paid
Yeah.
the price on at 2 occasions. It always leads to a good Joe Soro rant who yells his head off when especially the first time when they didn't have AD or LeBron, but they were on a
Oh,
hot winning streak. They
yeah.
went into Rockets and thought, because the Rockets you guys were really
Young and
playing for the
rebuilding. Yeah.
lottery. Yeah, and we
That
got
was the game where
waxed.
they attacked Carmelo Anthony, huh? Wasn't Carmelo still on the team at
No, no, no. This is
Oh,
last
okay,
season.
okay.
This was last season.
Last year, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this was
Last
last.
year was
I
at
think
home.
we had already made some of the
Okay.
trades already, but we didn't have LeBron or AD in the lineup. LeBron, I think, was still hurt. AD, I think,
Yeah.
was just rest, and I think it was like because it was in front of a back to back, and we got
And AD
absolutely
could have
whacked.
played that game, but they chose
Yeah.
to rest him,
Yes,
and
this
it came
just
back and bit y'all. Yep, I remember that.
yes, and
Yeah.
it bit us. And my God, he I thought a vein was going to burst from his neck. He was so mad. Now this last time, we just got you guys outclassed us. It's
Yeah.
that simple. We went in there. We didn't, we didn't have AD, but that's no excuse. We went in there. We were expecting an easy win.
Oh, Gerald, there was a country boy ass whipping. Let's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty demoralizing to watch.
yeah,
I could see LeBron like he pretty much gave up mid game. Like, okay, this is over. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because that put that helped get you guys on that run
Yep.
that you were on until that hardened last second shot just the other day. So yeah, you guys are playing great. Keep up the great work. You keep up the great work. Continually great work on your show. You've always had it, whether the Rockets are not so good
You're
or
right.
good like
Horrible.
right
Yeah,
now.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Your work
Yeah.
is still great and it needs to continue. And please go ahead and check out Frank for the Chop Shop. Please subscribe to him on YouTube. Please support him today on Twitter. FTank58, correct on
Yeah.
Twitter?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so please go ahead and support him today. It's been great having you on. We got to get you back on later in the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping our next conversation will be that, okay, you guys are the surprise of the league, and it's legit. And it's not something that happened after 15 games. It's something
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
after 60 games, that you guys are for real and are looking to have a bright future up ahead for you guys in Houston. We're wishing you
Yeah.
all the best on that.
Thank you all, man. Y'all have a great night.
You too. Magic Man, any thoughts?
Nah, just well wishes and hopefully for a good game, man. We don't want to see a 34-point blow either
Yeah.
way.
Yes, sir. All right. Take care, guys. Appreciate
All
it.
right. You
Later,
too.
Frank.
You too.
Later.
That is Frank from the Chop Shop. Please go ahead and check out what he's doing today, right here for you at that Frank at the Chop Shop, right there at the Chop Shop, right there for all covering all the Rockets, right there for you. The Rockets Chop Shop, indeed. Rodell says LBJ. Rodell, I just sent you an email. You want Westbrook back. Anyways, LBJ does not
Oh
like to be on the
no,
ball.
no, we're
That's why
not
we
going
brought in
down
West.
that rabbit hole again.
No. He wants Westbrook back. My God, forgive me, break. Oh,
See this?
oh,
We're driving down the road,
oh.
and the
I
rear
already told
view.
you. West, under no circumstances should we ever have Westbrook should be like Voldemort. You should not talk about You should not talk about Voldemort, and you should not talk about Russell Westbrook as the Los Angeles Lakers. That is what you said, bro. That is what you said in your letter. Yes, what you said. You wanted two playmakers like Westbrook. Okay, that's what you said in your email. I sent it back. You say it's right there. It's in writing. That's what you said, bro. You want Westbrook back on the team. You want Westbrook back. That's what you want. Now, second playmaker, actual playmaker. Yeah, don't say his name. See, you got me saying his name. You want Voldemort on the team. No, I'm sorry. Cannot happen. But I could second playmaker. That's great. It's funny because we just answered a question the other day before we headed out. I just answered that question that somebody said they wanted a point guard who can shoot, distribute the ball, and play defense, plus a consistent shooting guard. And my answer is, doesn't almost every NBA team, Magic Man? It's
Yes,
not like they're growing on trees, right?
no. You know what, Gerald? Everybody wants a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, deluxe house with you gotta have a big backyard, Gerald, and it can't be around a lot of neighbors and or everybody. Everybody wants that. It's on everybody's groceries list, but not a lot of people want to give away what's in short supply.
Yep, there you go. Having another playmaker is not great. It's fine, absolutely great. Can't have enough playmakers on your team, but
Credit is
as long
every
as they're not named.
yeah. Yes. No.
Yes,
None of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
None of that.
All right. Well, we're gonna head on out, but we will see you later tonight, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. It is playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, the post game that's there for you right here. Rodell can complain to me more. Rodell can complain us more. Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. Rodell can complain at us all the time. Guys complain at us all the time. You say we're always grumpy. You say we're always critical. Well, you know what? Sounds like you guys are grumpy too, and the Lakers are 7-6. So I think it just festers and feeds upon itself when the Lakers are not doing a-okay and great and have a lot of issues that they need. Well, okay, we were terrible with Westbrook. Then don't mention his name. Leave his name out of all of our mouths. All of our
When you
mouths.
say the word like, you're saying compared to no.
No,
No.
no, no, no. Just don't say that individual's name. Just let him have his rest of his Hall of Fame career on the Clippers, and there you go. Yes, absolutely. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame. Let him have his career, retirement, sunset. Great. We will just try to forget about that year and a half period he was
Yeah,
here with
no
us.
no Beetle Russ back on the
Yeah,
Lakers.
exactly. Well, once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Rodell, peace, man. You guys, you've been great. I appreciate you watching as always. Appreciate the feedback that you always gives us. We always have to correct you on it, but that's okay. We always love our back and forths with you. Again, thank you for your time, Sean and Gerald. I'll see you guys on playback. Eric, absolutely great. Absolutely. Doobie, Darren, Rodell, ER, appreciate you, all of you stopping by. Blue Magic, absolutely great to have you on the show as well. Again, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. SC for life. Man, SC, I wish we could play defense. and it's not looking much better heading into the Big Ten, which is does the Big Ten now have 20 teams?
It's up there. It's like the Big 18, I think.
Then why still call it the Big Ten? Yeah, I know it's a name thing. I know it's a name thing. Being facetious when I say that. So
But yes, I
marketing
mean
thing.
yeah, you can't call we still have the reserved right to make fun of this incessantly because you can call yourself the Big Ten with 25 teams in about 3 years.
It's like the line of pink, that's out there, and you see somebody that says pink on the back, and it's a green shirt, but it says pink on the back.
You're
Well,
right.
I
You're
know the
right.
line is
No,
called pink. I know the line is called pink, but it's a green shirt.
you're right. You're right, Gerald.
If somebody
Very
comes in
good.
here, if somebody comes from outer space and just says, "Why is she wearing a green shirt that says pink?" I don't get that. So yes,
No.
fight on, SC for life, man. We gotta stop getting our butts kicked, but that's another story altogether. But once again, it is playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. We'll be on at 6:30, and then you can chew us out afterwards or praise the stuff that we do. We kind of like being praised every now and then. Kind of like good things, We're here for you. So you gotta go ahead and join us after the game or join us during the game where you can hear us yell and scream and curse for 2.5 hours right there on
Mhm.
playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. But thanks again for joining us on the pregame. The game is tonight, 6:30 p.m. I'm trying to stall for time to see if there's any latest notifications on if anybody's injured because it always seems to happen after we go off the air. You're going to have to go ahead and check it out. I'll retweet it at Lakers Fast Break. As far as any lineup changes or any injury updates, I'll let you know at Lakers Fast Break. But for Magic Man Sean Grice, it's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you a little bit later on Playback and the postgame right here, the Lakers Fast Break podcast.